So good, soon to be afternoon, everybody. We are operating on a new setup, which of course is going to be the topic of the show today. So I'm not going to talk anything more about that, but I just noticed that I didn't set my music to loop. So once it played its 4 minutes and whatever seconds, then it um, stopped. So I got to fix that. Let's see here. Maybe I can fix it right now. Where's the little... Okay, I guess I am not hitting the right button here. I can see it, but it's underneath something else, so... And I can't move that because the scene is locked. Little behind the scenes here for you today. No extra charge, by the way, for that. That's all included in the price of admission. So it's 69 degrees, supposed to be the high today, which is only a degree above the normal high for today. So that's means winter. Well, you can see it's winter because I put on a long sleeve shirt. So that's how we know it's winter in Tucson. See, both sleeves are long. Amazing. Would somebody that's out there let me know how my audio is? Can you hear me okay without turning your audio up to maximum? Because this is a new setup. We're tweaking everything. And it would be good to know if you can hear me, because I could turn the volume up here on my end a little bit. So if you're having to turn your audio all the way up, you, 11:30, and I'm not there. Yeah, okay, well, thanks, Bob. Bob will be mentioned later in the program, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, Bob, for the audio check. That's great. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't turn off notifications. So here's a little preview of coming attractions. In Big Sur, the notifications, you see it here. The little 3 parallel lines, horizontal parallel lines, that used to be up in the right-hand corner are gone. And so now you get notifications by clicking on the time, which is pretty interesting. But we'll talk about that later. Good afternoon, and welcome to GoFor Lunch number 30 on the 1st of December, 2020. Isn't that amazing that we are into the last month of the year? I don't know if you can believe it. I know that I can't believe it. So we are glad to have you here today. And in case you're new, my name is Roger Harmon. I'm with GoFor Technology, where we make your technology work for you by patiently teaching you what you want to know. So one of the main things that we like to do here every Tuesday on GoFor Lunch at noon is answer your questions. So please put your questions in the comments, and I will be checking and let you know when I'll answer them, but I won't maybe answer them right away because we try to give you some content, some information, and then we'll pause and look at those questions. So don't get excited if I don't answer your question immediately. I'm still thinking about you. So you may remember from one of our recent exciting episodes that we were going to talk about the new Apple Silicon computers, which have been really dubbed the M-1, M as in Mike, M-1. And so those computers are out, and we wanted to have some time. I have an M1. It's sitting right over here. Let's see, over there. And you can't see it. But I have a Mac Mini M1 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte solid state drive. So I set this up actually for Bob, who is had a question about Big Sur and an M1. So Bob gave me the impetus to get that set up on Saturday, and we'll see a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So I wanted to emphasize that you need to turn off automatic updates both on your Mac and your iOS devices, your iPhone and your iPad. So if you want to refer to GoFor Lunch number 28, which you can find at our YouTube channel, a link for which is conveniently located in the Gopher Gazette that you received on Monday morning. If by some chance you're here without having received the Gopher Gazette, please feel free to email me at the address that will be at the end of this live stream, and I will make sure you get on that email list. So let me give a little disclaimer here. Normally, the philosophy in the Mac community is that you don't want to get a brand new computer with brand new technology, and we'll talk about how that has happened over the years a little later. And then you don't want to get a brand new operating system. And you certainly don't want to do both of those at the same time. But so you don't want to do this at home. But I, being your technology guru, going to the bleeding edge for you, have done just that. So I do have a brand new Mac Mini with the M1 Apple Silicon chip in it, and I had no choice but to get that with Big Sur. And so that has been operating here for since Saturday, and I'm glad to report that there's been a couple little glitches. I'm not sure that I wouldn't have had those on an Intel-based Mac, but nothing that jumps out as being a real big problem. So we're going to have a little contest here. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. I think I like it. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. And I know. So here's our contest. What singing group made those lyrics popular? So I'll be looking for your answers in the comments. Welcome, Mary, and welcome from Texas, Doriana, and the good afternoon, Carolyn. So glad you guys could to make it. So we'll be looking for the answer to the quiz for today. Now, if any of you peruse YouTube, you will see numerous unboxing videos. Now, I don't have to admit, but I'm admitting that I'm not so sure how, let's say, how important those unboxing videos are. Kind of like you've seen one product taken out of a box, you've seen them all, maybe. But just, because I want to be a YouTuber, I want to fit in to the YouTube community, I did an unboxing, and it looked something like this. So we're getting the foil off, we're taking out the the covering, uncovering the connectors, undoing the power cord, and there you have it, my unboxing. So, what did you think of that, folks? But you can't just unbox a computer. You have to fire it up and set it up because it's a brand new computer. So you have to give it your Apple ID, you have to give it your network information. And so with the help of Bob, we did just that. So here we are going through all the setup. And you notice the iPhone that's kind of going in and out of the picture. Well, and down in the lower left corner, you see I'm talking to Bob on FaceTime while we're doing this. So not only are we setting up the Big Sur on the new M1 Mac Mini, we're checking out some other things, testing some things that he was having some issues with, and giving him kind of a baseline as to what was possible. So there you have the setup of Big Sur. See? Not a big deal. Needless to say, those were in time lapse, so they didn't take very long. So, Big Sur. I'm running on Big Sur on the M1. Now, a lot of you that I visit and talk to have, how can I put this nicely, mature Macs. Either an iMac or a MacBook of some sort. That's been around for a long time in computer years. So a long time in computer years would be like if you have a 2012 or a 2011 or maybe even a 2013. And if you noticed, and the reason you contacted me perhaps originally was because it's running slowly. And unfortunately, I can't fix that because you're using a new operating system, which is good because you're getting the latest security updates and other updates. However, the old technology, the old computer, the processor in your older computer, and the new operating system just don't mesh very well. Speaking of mesh, I've installed a new Wi-Fi mesh system yesterday for a client, and today I'm going to do another one. So we're doing some mesh systems, so that really makes your Wi-Fi work everywhere in your residence. So if you're interested in that, let me know. So back to our regularly scheduled program. So we have helped quite a few people in the last couple of months go to a new Mac, and they're very happy because it's working very fast and everything is working smoothly. Now, the question is, should I go to an Intel Mac if I want to replace my aging Mac, or should I go to an M1 Mac? So, we're going to try to answer that question today. So, what alternatives do we have to an iMac right now? Because there is no M1 iMac. There's an M1 MacBook Air, there's an M1 13-inch MacBook Pro, and there's an M1 Mac Mini that we are using as we speak, as I speak. I guess there's nobody here. And Sherman is asking, yes, am I one any good? Slow cable feed. So it sounds like your Cox's bandwidth is not what you would like it to be there. Maybe you could clarify that question, Sherman. So, what can we do if we want to update to a faster computer, take advantage of Apple's latest technology, and do something before the M1? Now, one rumor that I've heard from Ming-Chi Kuo, who is an often quoted industry analyst, he said that he didn't expect iMacs until second half of 2021. So obviously that's at least 6 months away. So that is, why is this not going away? Probably because I didn't set the timer on that. So that's, 6 months. That's a long time to wait and endure a slow Mac. So we have some other ideas here that might help you. So you could get right now, you could order, maybe you wouldn't get it right now because I think they are in demand. So the shipping delay may be a couple of weeks at this point. An M1 Mac Mini with 8 gigs of RAM, a 256 gigabyte solid state drive, and that's going to cost you $699. You will be utilizing your existing keyboard and mouse. And of course, you could buy a new keyboard from Apple or a third party and mouse or trackpad, whatever you like to add to that, but it does not include a keyboard and a mouse. Let's contrast that. Oh, plus you need a monitor, right? So you can get an LG LED 27-inch monitor for $170. So that gives us a total of $868. Okay, does that make sense? So you're getting a Mac Mini and an external monitor for $868. What does that compare to? Well, if you got a 27-inch iMac Intel with 8 gigs and 256 gigabyte SSD, that would cost you $1799. So the difference, of course, is $931. So that's basically the difference. We're going to talk about some other models available. So if you wanted a portable Mac with the M1 chip, you can get the MacBook Air for $999 with the same specs, or you can get the MacBook Pro 13-inch for $1299 with the same specs. Now, let me emphasize that these are basically the base models, and you can certainly get them with a little more RAM and larger hard drives. You can only get up to 16 gigabytes of RAM on the new M1s, and you can go up to I think a terabyte, maybe on the Mac Mini. I think you can go to 2 terabytes. I'm not certain about that. So I'm just trying to compare apples to apples. Sorry, had to do that. So those are your alternatives. Now, if you do decide to go to a M1 MacBook, you can of course add a 27-inch monitor or a 24-inch monitor or a 32-inch monitor or a 49-inch widescreen monitor, whatever. You can plug into those and that'll work just fine. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can have a portable machine and you can have a nice desktop display. So there's lots of possibilities here. So let's go on and talk about some other possibilities here. So maybe you want an iMac, okay? And you don't want to wait 6 months and see what the M1 iMac will be. So Apple is still supporting the Intel Macs. They have actually said, not they, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, has said they're going to continue to support and release new versions of macOS for Intel-based Macs for years to come. In fact, he continued, we have some new Intel-based Macs in the pipeline that we're really excited about. Speaking of excited, nobody answered my quiz question yet. Gee whiz, guys. Let's get with the program. So, you can certainly get an Intel iMac or any Intel Mac for that matter and know that Apple is going to support it. I would say you can count on 4 years at least. So they're not abandoning Intel just yet. They're going to be making Intel machines and M1 machines in parallel for years to come. So as I was researching this, I couldn't help but take a little stroll down memory lane. So here we have the history of Apple changing microprocessors, also known as computer processing units, CPUs. So the first Macs were the Motorola 68,000, 68K. Those came out in 1984. By the way, my company started in March of 1983. And those went through 1995. Then they took a leap to a whole different architecture, the PowerPC. And that was a joint venture between Motorola and IBM. And that was a RISC processor, which we'll explain in just a second. And that was supposed to be the end-all, much better than Intel. But unfortunately, even though it wasn't supposed to have one, there was a dead end. So then Apple went to the Intel chips in 2006, and of course those are still in use today and for years to come. And now in 2020, the ARM chips, which obviously this graphic was not made recently. So that's the history. So they have changed their processors 3 times since 1984. I just love this graphic, so I just threw this in there. So again, the first chip was from Motorola. The second chip was the PowerPC from Motorola and IBM. Then the third chip was the Intel series of chips, and then now they're bringing out Apple Silicon, which is an ARM chip. You may be wondering, what is ARM? Well, ARM stands for Advanced RISC Machine. Advanced RISC Machine. You may be wondering what RISC means. Well, if you'll point your eyes down to the bottom of the screen here, RISC is Reduced Instruction Set Computer. And we're not going to get into that anymore because it gets really technical. So this is a good time to ask questions about what I've just covered. Oh, there's our answer from Mary. The Pointer Sisters. So a little trivia. Apple, for their 10th anniversary, I think, commissioned the Pointer Sisters to do a customized version of that song for Apple. They changed the lyrics to match Apple's first 10 years, and I have a VHS video of that, and I need to get that digitized so that I can test how good the copyright system on YouTube is. Let's see if I can get away with playing that back for you, but it was really good. So that's the Pointer Sisters, and I am so excited about the M1. So while we're seeing if any of you have any questions, let me cover a couple of other things. So there's been a lot of reviews on the internet about the M1. I heard one reviewer that ran some tests, some hardware tests, and he was so convinced that the results that he got were wrong. They were so fast that he couldn't believe them. So he ran them one more time, and they were the same. So he became a believer at that point. So there's rave reviews out there for the M1. You'll see some negative reviews. A lot of those are what we call click bait. Click, C-L-I-C-K, bait. That means that they're trying to get people to click on their website or their YouTube video to get more views. But in fact, the M1, for being a brand new architecture, and it's not really a brand new architecture. So this M1 Apple Silicon has been in your iPad and your iPhone for what, 5 years or more? So it's not that brand new. It's just brand new to the Mac, but it's not brand new. You've been using M-1 chips for quite some time. So that is something to consider. So anyway, the bottom line is that it's getting raving reviews. And what is this I have in my hand? Why, this is a mask, which means have mask, will travel. So if you need personalized help, and it's something we can't do by screen sharing, which we do, then be happy to come to you in following all the safety protocols in these troubled times and help you with whatever needs to be done. You could do me a favor by subscribing to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. If you have, thank you very much for subscribing. And if you click on that little bell when you subscribe, you'll get notified every time we go live. So please subscribe. And another thing you could do to help us out is forward that GoFor Gazette that you get every Monday morning about 7 o'clock to friends and neighbors and relatives that have Macs so that we can help more people. So that's what we're all about here, is helping people. So if we have more people that we can help, then that's a good thing. So I thank you for joining us for this little preview of the future. I didn't talk anything much about Big Sur, but I've been running Big Sur now. I still would recommend waiting until you get, so Big Sur, they changed the version number from macOS 10 dot whatever to macOS 11. So we're on macOS 11.0.1. So in the Mac community, the common wisdom is you want to wait until 11.2 or 11.3 before you go to Big Sur. But if you accidentally forgot to turn off your automatic updates and you click that button and you got Big Sur, I think probably if you've got a fairly new Mac that you should be fine. But again, let's wait. And if you're on an older Mac, then thanks, Bob, for that little reminder. Then if you're on an older Mac, then you need to probably stay on the operating system that you're on, because it may slow down a little bit more on Big Sur. So that's the wisdom for upgrading. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you have any questions, you can give me a call or send me an email, and I would be very happy to help you out. Take care.